All right, welcome to this weekend market analysis. Yet another trading week. In fact, one of those unpredictable trading weeks in the annals of forex trading for this year. That's because the US election has been on, and of course, the results has been obvious, and this is happening over the weekend. And so what will be the possible market reaction as the market is going to open today for trading for this week? Well, the market sentiment will depend on what people feel about the American economy going forward on the transition of government. Okay. All right, be that as it may, we are very technical traders, and most times, majority of the time, our price tends to respect the technical picture, and of course, price patterns are always repetitive and harmonic. So, without waste of time, let's very quickly look into the Forex factory to see those high impact news announcements that we are expecting for this upcoming trading week. As you can see here, we have those normal high impact news announcements. Okay, we don't really want to waste time, but of course, on Wednesday we are going to be having a bank holiday cutting across the Canadian dollar and the American dollar axis. So Wednesday is likely going to be a slow trading day for this week. Well, you want to keep all of the high impact news announcements on your radar, especially if you're an intraday trader, and be very careful not to be caught up upon those news announcements release. More importantly is the interest rate announcement coming from the New Zealand dollar axis. This usually impact the market in a more violent manner. All right, without waste of time on this calendar, let's look into the charts, trying to analyze those pairs that we have been following. In fact, it's going to be an eventful trading week. It's going to be an eventful week as the market is going to open. Where the gaps, of course, still be market gaps, where those gaps will tilt to, no one can easily predict that. Okay. All right, let's look at the technical picture, beginning with the Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar in the weekly time frame. Well, the best I can say here is that, as you probably know, price has taken off in a very nice run, and it is now trading around a very high zone and optimal area where pullback is very likely, especially to this area, this zone. Pullback is expected to that zone before we can see continuation to the downside or a bounce to the upside. You will see that very clearly in the monthly time frame. Let me zoom in this chart. Okay, so in the monthly time frame, you will see how price is trading around a key area of resistance, how it has been respecting that area as both support and resistance, and now it went all the way to retest that zone. This is what I was talking about. Pullback is expected to somewhere around in here before we can see another push to the upside. Well, we may be finding some hesitation around here, especially that it is resistance, but then the best trading decision to take around this very heavy level of resistance is to keep searching for short opportunities. In the daily time frame, we got a rising trend line, a falling trend line, as you can see here. Price, of course, in fact, we were involved in this trade. We are still holding our position. Price went retested that line as if it was going to keep pushing to the downside, but then it failed and gave us a breakout of that level, okay, of that line. Again, we are seeing the possibility of price coming all the way to somewhere in here around that area, okay, before we can see a bounce to the upside or a continuation to the downside. So at current price level, it is not the best area to look for buy entries. If you want to go long, you need to wait for price to come to somewhere around in the area before you can look for your buy entries. That means for this week, we are likely going to have a temporary pullback. All right, this is not pullback because this trend line has been broken. So we may see temporary pullback before any resumption in directional bias. I actually shared this chart with you in the live trading room for those of you who are VIP members, and I called for this level of resistance. As you can see there, price respected that level as resistance. Well, it will be interesting for us to see price come all the way again to somewhere around in there where it is likely may find support to bounce to the upside or just break for continuous push to the downside. Well, these are very ugly price action right now. It will be interesting if we can get price come down then to this level here to find possible support. Okay, this is not a good area to look for buy entries. If you want to look for buy entries, you want price to push above, then pull back to continue to the upside. But for now, this is an area to look for possible short entries. Okay. All right, the New Zealand dollar against the Canadian dollar. Again, this is one of those pairs that we got involved with. Just want to show you the pattern again in the weekly time frame. You can see price congestion. After that push to the upside, we are now going sideways in a triangle pattern. And of course, you can see that level acting as resistance, and this one here as support. So at this particular level, this is not an area to go long because that is resistance zone. Price may likely want to maintain that triangle zigzag formation to come back down. All right, so you need to be very careful hitting on your buy button against that level. If you look into the daily time frame, you will see how price got resisted at that level, that triangle point. Okay, in fact it was a confluence. Let me show you that clearly again. You can see this level. Just look at this, connect this high to this high. It came around that point of confluence right here. Okay, so that is a bounce point, point of confluence, and you can see the rejection and the beautiful pin bar that we have around that level. This is also giving the hint that the next candle is likely going to be a bearish candle to the downside in the New Zealand dollar against the Canadian dollar. Okay, all right, so we are expecting to see bearish push to the downside upon that reaction as the market will open. All right, well, let's leave it at that. Even though anyway, let's just leave it at that. Okay, again, if you are looking to trade off this high, if you connect this level right here, okay, just that high, you will see the reaction right there. That's a pin bar. Price should begin to push to the downside, so we're more concerned looking for short entries. How about the Australian dollar against the American dollar? Well, again, this is trading around a heavy level of resistance in the very long term. It is an American dollar pair concerned about the election results. Okay, well, let's say will price be able to break through that level of resistance? Well, until the market opens. But technically speaking, this pair is trading around heavy level of resistance. But in the daily time frame, just like we had in the Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar, the rising trend line gave way, and so we're expecting the price will make some pushes to the downside. Maybe the market gap is going to be to the downside. Okay, that is what we would like to see, the market gap to the downside, strengthening the American dollar upon the election of a new president, giving hope to the nation, where the market confusion here is more of the fact that the nation is well divided, as the you have two parties here of almost equal proportion voting for their next president, and so that division might cause some heavy market confusion in the charts. Okay, so for here, well, we have pushed to the upside. We may be seeing a drop back down. Okay, New Zealand dollar against the American dollar. Again, I want to just show you why I am anticipating a stronger American dollar in this market. Let's see the New Zealand dollar against the American dollar in the monthly time frame. Price is trading around heavy level of resistance again. All right, at that level, heavy level of resistance, we had also analyzed this pair severally before. You can see that sort of a channel formation. This usually give the hint that price will drop to the downside heavily. Okay, so you want to be very careful hitting on your buy button. Then you also find this level here that has been holding price as resistance. Price is currently trading around that area. Price is currently trading around that level we talked about as resistance. Now let's look into the daily time frame. In the daily time frame, I'll zoom in for you to see. Okay, now look at that level we were talking about. Resistance there. Okay, resistance there, and now what's going on there? That is some form of an ugly inverted hammer formation. Okay, this may also give the hint that the market gap might be to the downside. So at that particular level of resistance, let's see what's going to happen as the market is going to open, especially that this is an American dollar candidate with the US election in view. All right, so we are more concerned about short opportunity here. Let's look into the sterling pounds against the American dollar. This is also a similar price behavior here. At the daily time frame, you can see that's resistance. Again, last week Friday, what happened? An ugly doji around that resistance. So we have to be very careful looking for buy entries, as again, we may have possible bounce to the downside on the election result. All right, now let's move on to the sterling pounds against the Australian dollar. I don't really want to waste time here. I just want to show you the possibility of a valid trend collapse setup here. You can see this is a rising trend line. It got broken. All right, got broken. So we are waiting for pullback. Somewhere around there is where we'll be looking for our short entries. This is a high quality trend collapse setup coming up for us. All right, so let's look into the American dollar against the Swiss franc and the euro against the American dollar. These are two pairs that are highly correlated, almost the same pattern. Let me show you what's going on right here. Okay, last week we saw that heavy momentum candle push to the downside again. All right, that candle right here in the American dollar against the Swiss franc. What's really going on? Let's see the daily time frame, because in the weekly time frame here, this is really choppy right now. In fact, it is sideways. It is sideways. Price is trading around heavy support zone. That heavy support area. Let me just mark that zone. Let's shift this a bit to the front. Okay. Let me mark that heavy support area just all right, so you can see this whole area right here. Okay, that's support area for the American dollar against the Swiss franc. Beyond that, what pattern are we looking here? What's actually playing out? This is what we are anticipating, that we have some sort of market confusion, which is an expanding triangle. Just a minute. Okay, I have this one here. To have gotten price bounced off that high and coming down, we are having a possibility of market confusion, an expanding triangle. All right, down, up, down. Don't be surprised, you should find support right there. Okay, for price to push to the upside, but no bounce confirmation yet. Let's wait to see what will happen as the market is going to open. I just want to show you that this is the next possible price pattern that we are seeing in the American dollar against the Swiss franc. Okay, we are not trying to analyze the market to suit what we want to see. All of this price pattern here came to an end. All right, so this is now a new price pattern. So we may be finding support around that area. Okay, that's it for that. Let's move on to the euro against the American dollar without wasting your time. Now, in the euro against the American dollar, let me also zoom in this up. We had anticipated this channel formation, and you know this level was never confirmed yet. and so you can see how price just pulled through. That renders that level invalid. Okay, we got only one bounce, but this one has been confirmed. One here, another one here, that has been confirmed. So we are just simply going to readjust this. Okay, to something like that. All right, so we may be having this. Maybe an expanding triangle, just like we have seen in the American dollar against the Swiss franc. And so all of this came to an end, and now we are seeing this. So resistance might be somewhere there. Okay, and if that resistance holds, then maybe coming back down again to this level, we should act as support. Okay, so that is it. That's the technical picture for the euro against the American dollar. Nothing more, but again, we need to wait for the market to open, as the election result might impact the chart. No one knows where the gap might open to, but for here we have this level confirmed, double bounces. This one also confirmed, double bounces. That means the pattern is already established, and so we may be finding some drop back down. All right, okay, so it's going to be an eventful trading week. Stay very close to your charts. I can assure you that we will find something profitable to trade as the market is going to open. Thanks for being here. If you have questions or contributions, feel free, send them across to us, and we'll be very happy to respond to them as usual. Wishing you a very profitable trading week ahead. Bye bye.